Hi, everybody. Welcome back and happy Monday. All right, guys. So last night, it's interesting because people don't really realize this, but when we have shows on like the Emmys or any award shows, it kind of like throws things off. Like this morning, I woke up and I'm like, all right, we have over 200 Bravo celebrities. Somebody got a DUI. Somebody has a divorce coming. Some asshole cheated on his wife. I don't know. But I was like waiting for it. And then I looked and I'm like, oh no, what's going on? But thank God enough happened over the weekend before the Emmys. So we have a lot to talk about. And this is one special guest that we absolutely love. I cannot wait to see him at BravoCon. And we haven't had him on in a while because he's been incredibly busy, not only with his own show and like the amazing guests that he has on, but also on Jeff Lewis Live. Like, dude's killing it. So if you guys haven't already, go ahead, pop off in the live chat. Let us know where you're watching from. Smash the like button, show some love, and let's welcome So Bad It's Good with Ryan Bailey.
Smash that like button, everybody. Let's
smash
do this.
That bitch.
Smash that button.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. I was just telling guys, because I haven't seen Ryan in quite some time, and I was like, man, you look really good. Look at this guy.
You. Yeah, I mean, this is no GLP-1. I'm just, I'm with a dietitian, and I have to work out every day. It's really boring.
Yeah,
very boring.
Yeah, the workouts. You know, I was hoping, and I mean, this sounds really shitty, but this was like my own version of Ozempic. I was hoping because the last 13, 14 days, Jason and I caught some bug.
Oh, that's the best when you get a natural. That's like a natural GLP-1 is a bug.
My God, it's like just all of the things happening. And I'm like, I'm going to be so skinny. And then I stood on the scale this morning because we're finally feeling better. And I'm like, I don't know what I did to deserve this. But like, how did nothing change? But
Adam,
that's okay.
You're already a model. That's ridiculous. You're insane.
Ryan, we'll keep you around.
Hey to everybody in the chat. Is that?
Yes. Hi, guys. Okay. All right. We have Brighton, Michigan. We also have Ohio. We have Bluffton. We have more Michigan. We have Pennsylvania. Guys, welcome in. And Ryan, we have a lot to talk about. Where do you want to start? Do you want to go into Denise Richards, OC, the Valley, New Jersey, Salt Lake City? Like, what do you feel?
I mean, you did mention the Emmys. I wanted to mention real quick. It is so funny on the red carpet how much Seth Rogen and Ben Stiller were asked about their love of Bravo. And I love that they're, like Severance in the studio, like big Emmy Award winners, like genius people. And they just get asked repeatedly about their love of Bravo. And I love that that's like always their sound bites about, and Seth Rogen actually took a picture with Tom Sandoval and Phaedra at a Emmy party on Friday or Saturday, which I thought was hysterical.
It's always, to be honest with you, the most random people. Like when it's Sarah Paulson, Rihanna, Nicki Minaj, Ben Stiller, which is like, of course, like a classic, like one of my favorite movies of all time, Along Came Polly with like Jennifer Aniston,
Philip Seymour Hoffman's so funny in that.
Yes. Yeah. And then, like Seth Rogen, which, my God, we could go down the list of his shit, but like this, it kind of shocks you. And then you see these people who are like, my God, we're such big fans. And really, like when you're on reality TV, and Jason and I always laugh about this, it's not like there's like some crazy talent that you're displaying. You're just really opening up your life because a lot of our lives are sometimes shit shows, and you put us in the right situation and they're just fans of the shit show.
It just means we all have great taste. We all like the same stuff. That's all.
We all like the same stuff. And it's nice to know that when I'm sitting there watching The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills this season, Ben Stiller will be too.
Yeah, he said he's going to start Salt Lake City soon. He's never watched an episode of Salt Lake City, and he said he's going to start, which is so exciting because season 6 premieres tomorrow.
My God. By the way, I'm excited for The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City for multiple reasons. Actually, I think that's a great place for us to start. Salt Lake City is going to be, I think it's going to be good this year. I always question, like going into any season, what's going to, is it going to be good? Is it going to be lackluster? We don't know. But one thing I have to say out of just respect for the entire cast and the franchise as a whole, those ladies know how to keep their storylines for the most part under wraps. And I love that.
Yeah, no, so true. I mean, and listen, after Monica Garcia left, I did not think that they were going to have the amazing season that they did last season. So they're really game for anything. And I mean, I'm so looking forward to this. Like, I think we all really need a great Bravo show that is not the drama, the behind the scenes drama that OC is. So I'm
Yeah.
so excited to see what Salt Lake City brings.
Well, and people are talking about this like one, and guys, do not attack me in the comments for this because
Come on,
I'm
guys.
not throwing shade at this. One, I was shocked to see the trailer, like there was barely any Whitney. And so I wondered, like, are you, like it makes you always question, right?
Yeah.
And the only reason I'm gonna say that is I was working at TomTom and I was walking past and Lisa was like, darling, can you give me a rosé? Darling, can you give me a rosé? And she's like, and Ken was like, like Blue Moon. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get a Blue Moon. He's like, fucking good. And I brought the Blue Moon and he goes, what the fuck is this? And she's like, darling, he doesn't drink. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So literally I was the fall guy. I was panicking in this moment. The Vanderpump Rules that season trailer came out and Lisa was sitting there and Scheana was coming to meet her. Scheana walks in and she starts crying, sitting there at the booth. And she's like, I was barely featured in the trailer. And she was like, and Lisa was like, darling, it's okay. You're in every episode. Darling, it's it happens sometimes. And she's like, I know, but it's like, I worked really hard. And I love Scheana, but just watching it, I'm like, well, these are fucking champagne problems if I've ever seen them. You know what I mean?
But it also shows you like the cast really don't know what's going to be featured, like how it looks. So when it comes out, they're sometimes just as surprised as we are. What's cut, what's left in. And I think that's always the fascinating thing is that they really don't know how much they're going to be in a season, or even with Sheena's book, when she talks about being demoted for those 2 seasons, we didn't know about that at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I learned about that a long, I think it was like 2 years ago when I did Sheena's podcast. She like told me that in confidence. And I was kind of surprised that they did, because I'm like, wait, because in my opinion, sure, there could have been, there's always another way to segue, right? From Beverly Hills into Vanderpump Rules. But this seemed like a sort of seamless way that they were able to sort of do that transition. And she was a huge part of that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how do you like, but also like, look, guys, we used Brandy Glanville for the Denise Richards storyline. It's like, why buy the cow when you get the milk for free? And nobody paid her ass for shit. And then had the best storyline of the season. So, sometimes you're collateral damage. That's it.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's why I always say, like with Housewives, I always want to make sure that they have a second career lined up. Like, at least with Heather Dubrow, I don't have to worry about her financially. But a lot of the other Bravo celebrities, I feel like I always have to worry about their next paycheck. And so you're genuinely worried because you see somebody like Brandy Glanville who does like press tours now that she really needs help, and it's kind of you feel so sad about that. But at the same time, I don't think Bravo or these shows they have to keep people or they have to give them paychecks, if that makes sense.
There have been moments where I've talked to one particular real or Bravo talent who's no longer on their show, and they at one point were idea of going the legal route like Brandy, and I said, you are obviously your own person, you're an adult. When you do that, like, that is the final nail, because you look at people.
Was that like, Jax Taylor?
Yeah, no. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but no. But like, it is the final nail in the coffin, and like, then you have moments where like Alexis Bellino comes back or Gretchen Rossi comes back. It's like, find something else to do and be able to pivot. Like Danielle Cabral right now is doing a good job at that. She's doing New York Fashion Week and she's trying her best with putting her little feelers out there with things. Just keep yourself busy with the pivot. Don't go after the network, because once you go after the network, you're done.
Well, I sometimes feel like, and I don't know if the chat would agree with this, but sometimes I want a documentary of behind the scenes. And I think that's why shows like this, your show and other shows are successful, because it brings you in behind the scenes of the stuff that they're not able to put on camera. And I think that's always interesting because there's like a whole war always going on behind the scenes with all of these people. Like, I think I would love to, once these housewives or Bravo celebrities get off their show, it seems like this uphill struggle to get back on the show.
I
I mean,
know.
Gretchen Rossi coming back, how long has she tried to get back on OC, or even to your point, Alexis Bellino? And I think that's so weird. It's like they don't like the show, but at the same time, they'll do anything to get back on the show. And I feel like that's such a weird universe to put yourself into.
Well, when you're married to somebody like Slade Smiley, I feel like he's on the front lines like a Marine, and he is doing his best to get you in there, get the dress right, the fit's going to be right, everything's going to be right to make sure that you are the best possible housewife you could be or friend of.
And we got to pray over it. Yeah.
We're going to talk about OC in a minute, but even going back to Salt Lake City, I was surprised that there wasn't more about Bronwyn's like history coming out on that trailer. That kind of shocked me.
But see, don't you think that maybe they're saving that? They're not going to put all the juice in the trailer, because I think the Bronwyn of it all, I would imagine that they go after heavily this season. Do you know that is not true at all? Or do you think?
I don't actually, and I mean, this is the one cast where I have like the majority of them that do not like, not only do they not follow me, but I'm just like blocked. So unless it's
which by the way, did you? Well, the Kathy Hilton party. Did you ever talk about the Kathy Hilton party?
Yeah.
Party.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but then in that moment,
I felt like I was watching a TV show in person. I was watching a reality show in person. You talking to Adam, what are you doing here? It's me, Whitney. No, you did, but that's why I felt like I was watching a scene on a reality show. You guys, the majority of the Salt Lake cast were there, and Whitney and Adam were having a very intense discussion, and I was just, it was wild. Like, I felt like I was watching an episode of Salt Lake City.
You know what was so dumb about that conversation was I wasn't even talking to her. I was talking, Mary Cosby walked up and she said, "Hi, Adam, I just love you." And I'm like, "You do?" Like, I interviewed your parents. I thought I was in trouble, and Mary like makes me nervous. And then Angie Katzenavas comes over and she's like, "Come on, Mary, let's go." And Mary's like, "I'm talking to Adam. I'm not going anywhere. Girl, you want to go, go." And she's like, "Mary, let's go." And then Angie sat there and kind of was part of the conversation. And then all of a sudden Whitney comes to get Angie and she's like, "Come on, Angie, we're not talking to him." And I was like, "Bye." And she's like, "I don't know what I did to you. I was best friends with your husband." I said, "What's his name?" She couldn't answer. "I'm sorry, Adam. I just did the blue carpet and I can't think right now." I was like, "That's the stupidest answer ever." And that was more vindicating to me, to be honest with you. Not really like delving into it, whatever, but that was more vindicating than posting any of the text messages and compromising my own just like reputation and being like the person like, "Okay, well, now he's scary because can we have a private conversation with him?" Because I've never leaked anybody's messages or anything that people ask me not to talk about. And I really kind of struggled with that for a moment, but her
you see how it plays out on OC. But yeah, you see how that plays out on OC this season with the Kiki Monique of it all. It's really intense when, people like us, who I don't call ourselves journalists, but like content creators or whatever, get brought into the storyline. That's always really scary. So to watch that in person with you guys was wild. I was just like, this is an insane holiday party. I mean, you had DJ James Kennedy. That was the night he got arrested. Then you had Lisa Barlow and Kathy Hilton singing "Last Christmas" off key. You had so many. I felt like I was.
There was like the claw machine going off with the Swarovski stuff inside of it, because that, of course, as one does at a Kathy Hilton party, right? Like the bougie ass Swarovski like claw machine, and then there's people with their cameras up, and then there's people singing "Last Christmas," and it was the most chaotic thing.
It truly was insane. Yeah.
And then I went to the bathroom, and like I think the door didn't lock, and somebody just opened the bathroom, and I was like, "I am ready. I'm going to the Abbey." And we went to the Abbey, and I was like,
"Oh, really?
Pink Pony Club. That's what we're leaning into." Yeah, but no. Going back to Salt Lake City really quick, because clearly we know we have less than a year before Jen Shah gets out, and I have talked to a few people on her team. Not recently. I think I kind of got into a lot of trouble with them. When I did the podcast and stuff with Monica, they felt like it was sort of a betrayal.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know how Jen feels. I've tried to reach out to Jen. I've tried to communicate with Jen, and I've had conversations other places, but that doesn't matter. But the general consensus was that there are a lot of opportunities of people waiting to tell that story when she does come out. I don't really see like a whole other reality TV show coming. So do you think that she's going to carpe diem the shit out of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City if she has the opportunity?
Well, I mean, she could do Love After Lockup, but no, I think no. Listen, I think she will. I think she will do everything in her power to get back on Salt Lake City. And I think if you're a producer of Salt Lake City, even though I would imagine the majority of the audience, and I think Salt Lake City has proven they do not need Jen Shah. I felt the show became stronger when she was off it. But I think it's if you're a producer, that is an easy friend of, or that's an easy thing to try to get like first dibs on that story and to see if Jen Shah has changed in any capacity. So I will be very interested to see what happens. But you got to get that first interview. I don't think Andy's going to do it.
It's literally the easiest season to... Oh, she's not going to give it to me. I did the podcast with Monica. No,
you never know, Adam. By the way,
I shot myself in the foot.
If you're learning about forgiveness and prison and rehab and all of this stuff, who knows what she's going to think? And you're going to want to reach the most people possible and try to get your story out there and what you learned in prison. So, I mean, obviously she has a book in the works and we'll see what else. I mean, maybe she'll do her own podcast.
I mean, if I were there, I would go through the programs and I would be like, yes, I'm reformed and I feel better and I'm not mad at anybody. And be like, okay, I'm just going to get this time shaved off. And then when I get out there, I'm going to eat you bitches alive.
Yeah, well, imagine the first fight Jen Shah gets into on TV. People will like just be down her throat immediately, seeing you haven't changed. Like, what if she flips out like she used to on Salt Lake City? That would be so wildly disappointing. Or will people want that?
Well, and I imagine because, guys, Bravo is not innocent in any way, shape, or form in the way that they do these things. Like, love Bravo. But, like, they're kind of smart with these things. Like, Teresa Giudice gets out of prison and they cue Kim D sitting there trying to trigger her, talking about her husband cheating. And she grabs the chair and she's about to, like, rip Kim's face off. And she's like, do it, and I'll put you back in a prison cell. You know, Scheana Bedore gets a DUI and they're like, let's cue her ex's new girlfriend, fiance.
Yeah.
Like they do this because it's the easiest, like what Ryan said, storyline built in. Like your season is made.
It's natural drama. Like if you have this stuff. So usually then you watch a housewife try to survive a season. Like we saw Scheana Bedore last season, was that she was already coming off running her car into a house, and then on top of it, they bring in Alexis Bellino, who's now dating her ex. I mean, that's insane. And so watching Shannon be pulled in 8 different directions and still survive somewhat made for a really fascinating season, in my opinion. And that's why, I mean, OC this season, I don't think compares to last season at all.
So, but again, before we go to OC, would you want Monica and Jen on the same season? Would you think that would make great reality television? Are you here for it or no?
I think down the line, I just think right now they've got such a good team, and like they've added no new people on this season, which really shows the confidence they have with this. I think if you add either one of them at this point, you really mess. Like once that starts faltering, then you bring in support like that. But even like Monica, like they obviously offered her to come in at the finale last season, and a lot of the cast members nixed it, from what I understood. So the offer was there for Monica, unless she was like fibbing about that. But I don't think you need that at this point. There was so much. It's like on the Valley. Do you really need Lala? I mean, Scheana, I think you need in some degrees, but do you really need Lala when you have so much natural drama happening with the cast of the Valley right now? Don't try to fix something that isn't broke.
See, oh my God, I can't wait to talk about the Valley because I actually believe the opposite. But we're going to get to OC really quick. We got to get to OC.
It's okay to disagree. By the way, it's great. We can have discussions.
I was just talking, I did Hot Messy Topics with Beyond the Blinds, and they're amazing. I love them. Yeah, we're under the same podcast network, right? So they're great, and it was so funny. On Friday I did that with them, and they agree on everything, and they were just like, well, if this is what you say, then yes, I agree. And I'm like, you guys are so funny. You guys just agree on everything. Like when Jason and I come on, Jason's like, shut the up with that. That is not what I think. And I'm like, you shut up and let me finish a thought.
Well,
and it's like, we're just so,
but see, that's
so
what's
different.
great about Bravo is like disagreement is like natural. Like, I mean, normalize that. We shouldn't all be liking the same people. And it just goes to show you that there is a fandom for everybody. And I think there's something really nice in that is that, you know, a lot of the times, you know, we don't really agree 100% on anything as a Bravo audience. And obviously that filters out through the rest of the world and what we believe in. But I think that's like one of the great things because you can listen, see if you agree with the person's points and vice versa. That's good.
Right. Exactly. And going, you know, like going over to OC2, now there's rumors going into season 20, which that is so, that is insanity that we are getting a 20th season of Housewives. Tamra Judge, the longest running housewife at this point, because we, you know, Candy ended up exiting the game and, you know, whatever. But like, we have Tamra Judge. We're going into season 20. And now there's rumors that Scheana Bedore might actually be demoted and they would kind of introduce Alexis Bellino. Clearly, it's just like the Jersey rumors. Like, we don't know what's true until they announce it. But what are your thoughts about that?
So listen, like I said, I thought Shannon was pulled in 8 different directions last season. And for, you know, with that, I'm okay that she's taking a little bit of a backseat this season. Like, you know, and obviously some people are upset about the Katie Janela of it all, that she was so upset about seeing secretly recorded. But listen, I think Shannon needs to be there on season 20, especially if you're going to bring back Vicky Gunvalson. And Tamra seems to be on like a warpath to get Shannon off the show in terms of the interview she's doing. And if Tamra is this adamant about trying to get Shannon off the show, then I think you need Shannon. That's natural drama. Like, you need that. To bring back Alexis Bellino, like, it's really interesting. She's doing like the podcast with Carlos King right now, and I think that's been pretty successful. But I'm sorry, I don't want, no offense to Alexis Bellino, I do not want her on right now. I don't, you know, and if Tamra's really good friends with her, I just still don't, I don't want that. I think she shot herself in the foot, attaching herself so intensely to John Jansen last season, where it's like, go, enjoy your love, enjoy your fairy tale. But I don't think I personally don't want to see her, especially if you're keeping Gretchen Rossi.
Well, and you know what, Alexis Bellino, she found love in a broken place, as Rihanna might say.
We all do.
She ended up finding John Jansen. She has this new love. This is a man who, you know, like maybe could potentially, there's like a whole lifestyle that might come with it. I don't know what John Jansen has, but like, you know, and then you have him, he's like pissed off at Bravo, pissed off at Shannon, and he's sending her in like a warrior. So instead of really having her own mind,
warrior.
Yeah, like, well,
she's a gladiator coming into this.
It was like choose your fighter, like Mortal Kombat, and he chose her. And you know, like, she goes in and she's like, I'm not gonna let you talk about Johnny like that, okay? And it's like, Shannon's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I've been with this man for what? Yeah. There's the door, Scheana Bedore, and it was
she practiced that line so much. It was so funny.
Like, that did not even land. There was no comedic timing. There was nothing.
Yes, I mean,
you crashed.
But by the way, it was funny in the fact that it failed so badly. That's what I laughed about. Is that like the stumbling over of these catchphrases that you practice in a mirror? And I just think, like, when you attach yourself to somebody that, you know, I mean, Slade obviously is a perfect example. You know, having initially dated Joe and then not marrying Gretchen, but with Gretchen and having a child. It is interesting, the men of these shows, they so desperately want to crawl out of the woodwork and be somebody. And that's why even Matt, Katie Janela's husband, I'm like, be careful, dude. You're making fun of Slade, but you're out there, like, really out there promoting and pressing. You don't want to be Slade 2.0, you know?
Right. No. And I think that's, yeah. Don't go out there and be a Slade. But going back to it too, you know, like with this season, with the Katie Janela of it all, because we're not going to be seeing her, of course, like for, I think maybe this week and next week, and then after that. Yeah. But like, what are your thoughts? Because clearly Gretchen admitted or got caught in a lie.
Yeah.
But like, she's not wavering on the fact that she didn't lie about the Kiki Monique stuff. And we know Kiki.
That's the weirdest hill for her. She keeps saying, like that's the hill I want to die on. And if you go through, and I've gone through a lot of Katie's interviews because I live a sad life, she kind of says the same things over and over again in regards to everything. She repeats, this is the hill I'm going to die on, I swear, da-da-da. The Kiki thing, if she could just admit that this was talked about with Kiki, I would find the rest of her story so plausible. But she still can't seem to admit that. And I'm sorry, I just don't think Kiki is lying about it. I think the Kiki situation from both of them got obviously messy and that it shouldn't have been leaked in the first place, but you're in the Housewives territory. But I think, I think Katie's got a really good shot at coming back next season. It's really going to depend on her reunion performance. And you see Tamra, this is why Tamra survived as long as she has, is because Tamra is buddies with Katie. They're liking each other's Instagram posts. That's why you always got to pay attention. It's like a sports team. You got to pay attention to the off season. And Tamra is she always understands the direction that the water is flowing in, and she follows that direction. So many people dislike Tamra, but she plays the game so well. I just find it unfortunate because I don't want Housewives to be like Survivor. I want it to just be natural relationships, which we've strayed so far from season 1 of OC.
I wish I could have Alan Cummings from The Traitors accent right now. Like, oh, Ryan, how naive of you. No, because it's such a game. It's such like a game of survival. But also at the end of the day, like now Shannon Bedore and Katie are refollowing each other, and there's a lot of just interest in people who are really kind of championing Katie in some way. And I think as long as Katie goes into the reunion, and I've said this to Monica a million times from Salt Lake City, when she went and Andy said, well, like, is there anything you want to apologize for before we like close out? Is there anything that you're sorry for? Is there anything that you want to just take back? That was his opportunity or her opportunity that he was giving her to have a moment and be empathetic, sympathetic, and just have resolution to the conflict. And she was like, no.
Yeah, Monica really did not have a great reunion performance at Salt Lake, that last season. And so Katie seems to be very cognizant and pays attention to everything. So I bet she's in debate prep before the reunion. I bet she's like practicing, rehearsing her points, and she's done obviously a podcast tour, so she's warming up. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens in OC, but I don't feel like we can have another season like this where it is so disjointed. But I always tell my audience, I'm like, Tamra, it's like she's not my favorite, but you have to she has the tenacity of a cockroach. It's just like she's always there. She survives by some sort of weird witchcraft. Like she makes fun of Shannon's drinking, yet she's the one that got drunk and was on Xanax and quit the show. Like, but by the way, but like how brilliant that Tamra comes back and not a person is questioning her about this. She's already managed to get the spotlight off her and back on
she
Shannon.
Get a mugshot over it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, I'm waiting for her to pull out the FBI hat again. She is just so good at this version of the Housewives. It's like she's really so good with this that I don't really understand it, because you would think there would be more focus on her behavior, and she's always manages to throw the hot potato to somebody else. And in that sense, I kind of not admire her, but I'm fascinated with her because I wish I could have an honest conversation with her where she would admit that, like, yeah, this is what I pivoted to. This is what I thought. Like, I want to know how deeply she thinks these things out. And also I feel like when she does her podcast, that's like taking performance enhancing drugs. It's like she's on steroids. She studies Housewives every damn day. So how can she not think like this? She thinks of it like a game of the traitors.
It's so funny. The first time I met her at her party at BravoCon, she came up and she was just like, she was like ready in that moment. And it was like Kathy Hilton party all over again. And I was like, oh shit. Like BravoCon gives me anxiety. I'm not going to lie sometimes, because I'm like, oh, this is going to be,
I know.
Okay, here we go. And so she came up and we had the best conversation. She's like, you always make me sound like an asshole. No, and she did like the Shannon hands.
I had Tamra on the show, and I was really nervous about it as well. We actually had a really good conversation. I was able to push back. I was able to push back a little bit. And so, but I just want her to admit at some point, she's thinking about this in terms of show. That's why I think one day Tamra will be a great producer on reality television. Mm-hmm. I think she will eventually pivot, because I think that's the natural extension of her podcast as well.
And I think that we had a mutual respect in the sense that I didn't waver, and I did not change my position of what I said on here on YouTube, I said, Tamra, sometimes you're an asshole. You act like an asshole. And she looked at me and Jason was like, I'm going to go get a Prosecco. And Jason walks away and I was like, oh, that's fucking nice. Thanks a lot. You know? And like, she's sitting there and she's like, well, that's fair. And I said, but I think that you're a great housewife. Sometimes you're an asshole. And she's like, yeah. And sometimes I think you're an asshole too on your channel. And I was like, I feel like we're going to be best friends. This is great.
Yeah, exactly. We're all assholes at some point, but I just sometimes Tamra will infuriate me. But that's part of, I think, the joy of Housewives is that you really love somebody or champion somebody and you really dislike somebody. And those can switch from season to season. Like one season, you'll be like, oh my, like I used to love Lisa Rinna. And then by the end of her run on Beverly Hills, I hated Lisa Rinna.
I know.
And, you know, who knows? Maybe on this season of The Traitors that she's on, I'm probably going to love her on The Traitors. So you've got to kind of normalize this behavior of it's okay to kind of see where they're at and then, you know, decipher how you feel from that. Guys, hit that like button. Let's hit the like button, you guys. Come on. Sorry.
Our emotions towards the housewives are like the stock market graphs, like this and this and this and this. But getting back to it though, guys, listen, if there is an honorary housewife, it's kind of like when John Jansen sent Alexis Bellino into battle against Shannon Bedore. At least that's how I painted this in my mind. I don't know anything, so John, don't come after me. I feel the same about Slade and Gretchen. The thing is Gretchen will never be a match for Tamra. That's not going to happen. But you know, the driving force behind that is Slade. And Slade went on Heather McDonald's Juicy Scoop podcast a while back. I think it was September 3rd. So it's been a minute. But when he did, he really wanted to heavily emphasize, you know, like she's a cheater and she's all of these things. And I'm listening to the sound bites. And you can see even in the video when he's talking and Gretchen starts talking, but then he seems to talk over her. And then Gretchen looks kind of annoyed. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, this is your, like, you are like living vicariously through her. Like, you are the housewife, which, by the way, when I first started YouTube, and sometimes people check me on my vocabulary, I used to say vicariously because I didn't know it was vicariously. So I'd be like, you're living vicariously through her. And then I got checked really quick. And Jason's like, please tell me you did not say that. And I was like, I thought that was the word. And I went to college, you guys. So I don't know how I effed that one out. But no, he's literally like operating and sort of like, it seems like guiding, but then also telling Matt Janella, you don't talk to bloggers, you don't talk to press, you don't do that. Like, what are you doing? But then you're going on Juicy Scoop and you're doing these other things. It's like, yeah, dude, you live for this shit. You love it.
The biggest crime Slade's committed this season was the mustache. You know, like, I mean, to actually come back to Bravo and have that mustache was also criminal. But I think that sometimes Bravo needs to do an ultimate guys trip and have all the guys that are thirsty to be a housewife on, just take a vacation together and try to like outshine each other. Like put him, maybe Joe Gorga, PK, just send them all to an island and have them battle it out, and then they'll get a spot on a show. But Slade, it really does feel Slade desperately wants to be there, which is fine. And yeah, Gretchen is no match for Tamra, but at the same time, I do think it is interesting that Gretchen is the only one there. For the most part, Shannon a little bit is reminding people of Tamra's behavior and how it has not changed since her initial season on the OC. And I think that's an important character. I disagree with Gretchen on so many things in actual real life, but I think it'll be interesting. Like Gretchen had a downshift in this like past couple of episodes and come to a tete-a-tete with Tamra and kind of forgive each other. But that's not going to last long because we saw the mid-season trailer and obviously it blows up.
Well, right. And what they're saying is like the finale is going to be insane. And now it's leaked out there. But, you know, like I'm pretty sure it's Tamra. And if it's not you, Tamra, don't come at me, bro.
But isn't it something to do with the Heather Dubrow of it all and her family?
It's maybe. Well, I don't know that part. I just know that it's somebody bringing up allegedly liked messages or tweets and things by Gretchen that seem to be very problematic towards the LGBTQIA plus community.
But what I'm saying, Adam, is that would involve Heather Dubrow's family. Right. And I think that's why we got the scene this week with Dylan Mulvaney is reminding people once again about Heather's family. So if that gets brought up, Heather would have to take a stand, you know, because obviously.
Yeah. No. But like, I didn't know about the Heather involvement, but of course, like it all just like, it makes sense. Like it all makes sense. Yeah, and listen, Tamra's always good for dropping a bomb. That's just what she does. And
she keeps it in her back pocket.
Speaking of dropping bombs, guys, she drops bombs, she drops checks, she drops a lot of shit. She drops the balls, what she does. Kim Zolciak, why? Why are we sitting out here taking the clickbait post, trying to get a check, grab your bag on the back of Emily Simpson and Shane saying that, oh yeah, well, the official release statement separating from Shane, it's happened. Like,
how much do you think they get paid for this? Because I've noticed a lot of housewives over the years do that, where it's like just desperate clickbait. I've seen even like, didn't Kim do one where she announced somebody's death? She was like, housewife died, and like, click here. Like, how much do they get paid to post those fake things? And I feel like that's why Facebook can sometimes be so trash. Is we were talking about that on my show today, is just with all the AI generated images and all of the fake news, like you'll really go on and I'll see, like I saw like Scheana divorcing her husband, like all of these, like you could just do a quick Google search and find out they're fake. So obviously it's clickbait, but how much do you get paid? Why is that worth it for Kim Zolciak to post things like that?
I'm wondering if I feel like she probably gets like 50 cents to $1 per click. And if she gets
that's a lot of money. Yeah.
It's a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, say she gets 50,000 clicks, you know, maybe $25,000 or $50,000. I feel like that would probably be on par, but I don't know.
I feel like that's betraying the overall, like if you're trying to get back on a show, I feel like Bravo needs to set some firm rules about your time after a show. You can't do clickbait shit. You can't do clickbait stuff. You can't do, like, you got to set up some ground rules, you know? And I feel like that should really give pause to Bravo if they want to bring somebody back on. Like, I just think that's really cheap and unfair.
I agree. No, I agree. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, Kim Zolciak, I feel like we're not going to be having you back on, but Ariana Bierman.
Next Gen NYC, she'll always come on as her mom.
We'll see. We will see you there as not the housewife, but the mom. All right, guys, we're going to move this over, and I want to talk about this next thing. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to it, but here we go. I'm going to play, and Bravo and Blaze, you're killing me with like the messages and stuff right now.
Oh, is Bravo?
We're going to play. No. But she's right here in these comments. Rotten hell, Aaron.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's very right there in your face. But guys, so if you don't know, Denise Richards, clearly, and Aaron Phypers, we all know that they're getting a divorce, but he decided to take the media inside of their Calabasas home and give them a tour. Now, here, we're going to play it and then we'll talk about it. Let's go.
Aaron Phypers shows the shocking conditions at their $3.5 million rented home in Calabasas, California.
Oh my gosh.
This was the master.
He showed Jim Murray the bedrooms, trashed, the carpets, stained, the closets in disarray.
There's hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of vintage clothing in here. It is riddled with moths. She buys makeup and keeps buying makeup and gets more makeup.
He says he's not at liberty to touch the mess upstairs because it all belongs to Denise Richards. Downstairs is where Aaron says he lives with his parents, brother, and 15 dogs. He says the dogs are all Denise's. At one time, he says Denise had 36 dogs living in the home.
How do you have so many dogs?
Because she has a thing with dogs.
Like a hoarding thing with dogs?
I don't know if it's hoarding. It's
husband Aaron Phypers shows the shocking condition.
Okay.
You're the dog, Aaron.
First of all, he's also saying that the photo of the black eye was not him. He's never put his hands on her. And clearly they all go back to like the Beverly Hills clip where that kind of feels like that there is some sort of aggressive bone.
I'm gonna break your hand. Yeah,
I'm gonna break your hand. And you know, there's a lot of stories that she's telling, but you're going, and he's like, you know what? She's kind of like a piece of shit. She's a clown because the way that she's operating through this divorce. I'm like, how do you expect her to operate? You're asking for $120,000 a month in alimony. Like, of course,
and did you go over his? I was reading his like monthly statements for like how much he spends in clothing and restaurant. It's completely ridiculous. But like, if you're living in there with your parents and it's that like messy, you know, like clean it up. Like, first of all, clean it up. If you're staying there, it really does, in my opinion, come off as just trying to win this PR battle. And it reads off panicking. And I don't know, like the audience, I just watched that AKA Charlie Sheen documentary on Netflix, and Denise Richards, was ex-wife to Charlie Sheen. I recommend the documentary, but like, yeah, man, it really seems like Aaron is going to lose this PR battle overall. And I think inviting reporters into your once shared home, but Denise said, I've lived in so many homes. Like I haven't lived there for 2.5 years. So I don't know who to believe. Do you have any clarification on this, Adam? Because you know the behind the scenes stuff.
For this, no. I mean, I actually don't know anything. I just have an opinion, and my opinion is, one, she hasn't been there for 2.5 years. Two, the house, yes, it's a big house, you guys, but here's the thing. If you're making that kind of money, I make nowhere near anything close to being able to, like, if I divorced Jason and him asking me for $120,000 a month, I'd be like, where the fuck are you getting that? Like, where's that coming from? That's not happening.
Jason, don't listen to him. You can ask for whatever you want.
You can ask for whatever you want, but you're not getting it. You know, like
cut to Jason's interview with Inside Edition. He keeps the place a mess. Look at this, all the products in the bathroom.
But you know what's funny is, like, it's like we live pretty normal, like with everything.
Yeah,
we're very grateful for everything, but like we live normal, and we have 3 dogs, 2 naked little titty tots, and the 2 of us. And we have somebody who comes and like helps us clean like once a week or once every other week. And it doesn't cost a whole lot of money, you guys, but like we keep up with everything. So I don't understand, if you're making that kind of money, does your house look like that? That was my whole point. It's how does it look like that?
And by the way, somebody in the chat said this, that Denise Richards has problems. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying Denise Richards is problemless. And if you even watch that Charlie Sheen documentary, she's been through a lot. And I'm not saying she's not an active participant in some of these things, but it does feel like Aaron is trying to win a PR battle. And when you let cameras into your shared home that you're living with your parents, like if you're living there with your parents, clean the place up, man. Like, that's not healthy for your parents to be around that kind of stuff. So it does read very PR to me, and I'm very scared where this is going to go. And I hope Denise Richards, I think she's announced at BravoCon, and I'm really interested to hear what Denise has to say, what she's able to say. And we do know she's been filming or was filming, and I think a friend of capacity on Beverly Hills. So I'm really interested to see what she is able to say on Beverly Hills.
Yeah, no, I'm not quite sure, whether she's going or not going, whatever the case is. But at the end of the day, I agree with you. I think that this is it's a press move, right? You're bringing people in. You're like, poor me, I'm living in this Calabasas mansion, and look at the state of it. And my poor parents are here living in this Calabasas mansion. And like, what am I supposed to do? You have your doctorate. You had a practice. Your practice apparently no longer exists. You are very capable of doing anything that you want to do. You're still a good looking guy. You can still like go out there and practice or create a business or do whatever you need to do. You have a lot of access and resources to people out there who are higher up. And what are you talking about? You're not a victim for being left in a Calabasas mansion.
Go talk about 5G and Faraday cages and all the stuff you used to ramble about on Beverly Hills. Like, he had a business at one point, to your point, and go out like, but it's like, that's what I'm saying, is that we now have to worry about how Aaron's going to make his money. Like that shouldn't be our problem. And when you take it to the press like that, it's really weird, because you then try to make it our problem. You try to drum up some sort of support when it doesn't seem like you deserve a lot of support. And there does seem to be some sort of physical and emotional abuse, allegedly. And I just don't feel like this bodes well for him to keep hitting this button in the press.
No, and I think that, like at the end of the day for him, I think that he's going to keep going, and he's going to do everything that he can and fight the fight until a judge tells him no to the alimony and no to these things. Denise, love you, girl. This is a learning lesson. Why didn't you have a prenup? I have no idea. Like, you should have had a prenup.
Yeah, by the way, you work with a prenup company. It's easy to get a prenup.
Hello, prenup.
Hello, prenup. And by the way, Denise Richards, please, if this gets back to you, I would love to interview you at some point. And one last thing, I'm getting really stressed out because I keep saying hit the like button. So even if you don't like me, hit the like button for Adam. We need to get those likes. I see it in the chat, and I want to get as many likes as we can, so Adam will have me back eventually.
No. Ryan will always have you back. Okay, guys, we're going to move over to another thing really quick. This might hit a little bit closer to home for Ryan than it does for me, because Ryan is, well, like technically, like every once in a while, a co-host on Jeff Lewis Live. So we love it. We love to see you on there. We love to see the shit talking, the hilarious like conversations. It's so funny. Like, I love the clips when they come out. I don't even know what the hell is going on half the time. It's just like it's just a panel of like, it's like kind of like, aside from you, because clearly you're not gay, but like it's like kind of like the gay view.
Guys, he's set up his own universe over there, and it's just such a weird treat to be a part of. And it's so funny, like, people have such intense opinions about Jeff, and then I've had nothing but a good experience. But he always, like, I was on with Taylor Armstrong last week, and that was great. I've been on with Phaedra, but yeah, he had Teresa and Gia on last week, right after Jen Fessler and Anna Kinkosis from Miami. But I thought this was interesting.
Oh, Anna drives me fucking insane. But also but it's only because I was in the Dominican Republic and I get this message where it's like, okay, up and Adam, I just want to let you know.
You cut out.
I'm coming for you. Wait, I cut out?
Oh, no. Yeah, you're back. You're back.
Oh, okay. She's like, I'm coming for you. And I know what you're going to say. I'm old and I'm fat and I'm this. And I'm like, what are you, like, trying to coach me in how to insult you? I don't need to be coached in how to insult somebody. One, if I was going to insult you. And two, I don't even know who you are. So let's take that one back. But Anna Kinkosis, or however you say it. Now, going back over to Teresa Giudice and also Jeff Lewis. Jeff Lewis, to me, I was introduced, guys, just like the background history. My uncle, who is also gay, was obsessed with him on Flipping Out. This is back to the Ginny days. This was when the show really first started. And so that's kind of when I first got to see Jeff Lewis. And they really capitalized on this, this personality that was kind of, you didn't know what you were going to get. He was like happy and he's like with his little breath spray. And then he's like, are you kidding me right now? Cause shit's about to pop off. And then you're like, oh no, what's going to happen? But then he did Hollywood House Lift. Right?
Yeah.
And his personality and watching him with everyone who was on that show, it was so much of a softer side, which it showcased a different version of him. And I was like, both of them were great, but it was interesting to see that sort of softer side. So I am a huge, huge, huge fan of Jeff Lewis. Love Jeff Lewis, and I always love his clips. But this was the clip that we're talking about.
It's possible that you could mend some of these relationships selfishly as a viewer, I would love to see that.
Yeah.
And I also just love when you were one big happy family.
I think I think the viewers would want to see that too. I think there's nothing more just because it's been going on for so long. So obviously they're going to want to see some sort of resolution.
Mm-hmm. Does that mean we could see you appear on season 15 of Real Housewives of New Jersey? Because I heard there's doing some test shooting or.
Well, I mean, does the professor ever take the test?
No. Okay. So, right. You're a proven talent. But do you think.
Does the professor ever take the test? Okay, so we've heard things that they have filmed a little bit with like test filming and stuff like that. I actually talked to an OG housewife from, I'm not going to tell you what franchise, but not New
Miami?
Jersey. And no, but okay. But I asked, I was like, you've been around for a minute. Is that true? Like, do you not have to test because it's, with new castmates, potential castmates, because you've been around for so long? And that person told me, absolutely not. It doesn't matter what franchise you're on, because at the end of the day, like, they need to see how those girls work with you anyways. So you always have to test. And I don't know why Teresa's leaning into that. I'm a little surprised. And then also into that conversation with Jeff Lewis, Jeff literally, like, it was like Andy Cohen, and I love you, Monica, I love you, but it was like Andy Cohen coaching Monica into like how she gets back on the season, right? And he's like, do you have an apology? Do you have anything? And she's like, no, I don't. And fuck these bitches. And it's like, oh my God, no, that is not what we were going for. And Jeff is sitting there and he's like, well, I think that you should do this.
Yeah,
and
Jeff is like, help me, help you. He's trying to lead her to the right direction of like, yes, I'm willing to forgive and I'm willing to like come together because that's what we want. We have to start there. If we pick up Jersey exactly where we left off before it was put on pause, I think the audience will immediately be exhausted again. So you have to do that. But I mean, listen, I think all roads lead to BravoCon. We're going to get the official announcement there. But I love this Bravo and Cocktails rumor where she said that Teresa might go to Real Housewives of Miami. And for something like that, I was like, man, that would free up Teresa to still be a housewife. She's friends with Alexia. They're always in Miami. Like, put her over there and let Jersey fly free for a couple of seasons because Teresa, obviously, no matter if you like her or dislike her, she's a legend in terms of housewives. But when she does those kind of interviews, it makes me nervous because it's just like, come on, man, you got to want to participate in the game a little bit. You got to want to be there. And yes, you are a star, but even stars need to work with new cast members and they need to help out production so the show can be successful.
Well, and at the end of it too, like kind of saying, well, like maybe I could work with them. I could not work with them. I don't know. I'm like, oh, you kind of know at this point, like the future is up in the air, but then the debt is still there, which that's a very real thing, like 2+ something, whatever million in debt. Guys, that's terrifying. Louis Ruelas has a new business venture that he's launching. It's not really what?
What's the business?
So it's sort of like what we already have on, to be honest with you, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and all of the other platforms. But what it's doing is it's creating a platform for people to live stream and have conversations while also promoting like e-commerce products, which is sort of like when we get like the clips from Amazon Live and stuff, and we get those fun clips from like Kyle Richards and Lala Kent and stuff. It's like
it's Louis Live. It's Louis Live where people come on and sell products and put it on their social media.
Then after the Vinny Villa thing, I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't know, but
see, this is why Teresa's out there doing Special Forces this season, which premieres next week. I mean, she's out there hitting the pavement. But like to your point about Jersey, the thing is, as an audience, we have to believe that she wants to forgive. We have to believe it, and if we don't sense that's real, then what is the point? Just to make advertising revenue? Like, what is the point unless, like, I would really love to see some real growth. But I'm so curious. I figured you would know what was going on. Like, you don't know what's happening?
I don't know shit. And
are you telling us the truth, Adam? Come on.
No, and literally, like, normally I would say I would talk to you after this. I really don't. I don't know. I feel like we're all up in the air. I think that they're up in the air. I don't think anybody really knows right now. Yeah. I think, the only thing that I believe is that they've tested with, like 4 or 5 new women. And I do believe that they've tested with Melissa and like Dolores, and I've heard about Margaret. But truly, like, I don't know. I'm curious to see. I don't know what they're going to do. The only thing that I do think is they really missed the mark with the Real Housewives of New York when they completely canned it. And that would be the worst thing that they could do. So they have to get this right. They can't do it 2 times in a row because Bravo's also a network where they're not going to admit that they got it wrong. You're silently going to go away and they're going to keep pushing forward. You know what I mean? It's
but
like
if we get a new season of Jersey and then all of a sudden we get another Kiki Monique storyline, I'm going to throw my TV out the window. Like, to your point, you got to get it right. You got to, like, this was a show built on family. That's what Jersey had, was like these family relations. And if that is so fractured and broken, they've got to make some tough decisions in terms of production. And I don't know if that means giving Teresa a spinoff or putting Teresa somewhere else, but if she's out there saying, I don't know, then it doesn't, I would imagine, pump the production company and Bravo with a lot of confidence that this can work because they put a lot of money into this.
Right. No, and this is going to be interesting. All right. Before we end up wrapping this up, guys.
Let's keep going. We got hours left, please. I'm joking.
Look, see, guys, I got the neck too. I just saw, by the way, the Real Housewives of London on Hey You guys.
I've been being told to watch that. Yeah.
Oh, Jason, I don't know what VPN, whatever Jason's like a little tech wizard, and he watches like all of like the little, like it's like the new Apple announcement, and he knows how to do things. But I saw this clip where Caroline's talking to two of the people, and one of them's Juliet, and she's like, well, you know, not all of us got a facelift. And she's like, darling, thank you, but like you should get a facelift. You need one. And I was like, what the? I love you, Caroline. I can't wait to see you in Vegas. Okay.
Is everybody in the chat going to BravoCon? Is everybody going to be? Are you doing a big Up and Adam meetup?
I don't have time.
What?
No, I mean honestly, like I can't. I talked to you a little bit before on here, but like I'm not going to say what I'm doing on here, but like with everything that's happening and all of like the moving parts, there's really no time. I asked Emily also if she was doing one, and I was like, well, if Emily does one, then I'll just like kind of just go and say hi to all of her law nerds and stuff like that, which they don't.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Emily again. Yeah.
But like, I love Emily, and like, I would just go support her, but like really like kind of hosting my own thing. And no, I mean, I don't know. We'll see, you guys. Things change all the time, but yes, you should come to BravoCon. I did a live though, and I was trying to explain to everybody, Ryan, that BravoCon with the prices, and as much as I love BravoCon and I know that it's a business, I wanted people to really understand what the prices are, because when you buy the ticket, it's not just the ticket, it's the ticket, the hotel. If you don't live in Vegas and you're not drivable, then it's a lot. It could be a $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 weekend for you. Yeah. And so, I wanted people to know, but honestly, for me and Jason, I kind of feel like it's our Super Bowl. And by the way, you're so funny at BravoCon. You guys don't know this. I'll run into Ryan and like, I'll pass him and I'll be like, hey, Ryan. And Ryan's like running to like the next like panel. And he's like, hey, dude, it's good to see you, whatever. And just like walks off. And
it's like Christmas.
What the fuck is going on? And he's like, running. Like you would think that there was a sale at Saks and there's only 10 items left on the shelf. And he is going for it. And he is going to get that item. Like he takes off. You don't see him. He's gone. But then by the end of it, like I get to see you at like the parties and stuff. It's fun.
Yeah. It's the best.
But like when you're in the actual con, you're not to be played with. Like you're on a mission.
Well, not even. Yeah, I mean, there's just you're so overly like you're desensitized. There's so much coming at you from all different directions, and it's so many people, and it reminds me of like Comic-Con in San Diego when I used to go that and be a geek over there. It's just so much to see, so much to do, so many people that you're meeting on top of the Bravo Celebrity panels. So it's just a lot. You're just like overstimulated all the time.
I think in my 3 years, you guys, I think I've been to 3 panels. So
really? I went to like so many I geek out about that stuff. I love information.
Oh, I know. I wait for like you and everybody else, and I don't go to the panels. I just like work the rooms and like see everybody and talk to everybody. But then like I see you guys like going to the panels, and the panels are fun too. Don't get me wrong, guys. But like everybody, we're all on a mission is what it is. Yeah. We're just all on a mission and we have our own strategies. It's war. BravoCon is Super Bowl and war. So,
it's where Bravo's going to get half of their storylines for upcoming seasons, because the Housewives and Bravo celebrities are going to do something crazy, and then they're going to talk about it on the show.
Absolutely. Speaking of, all right, guys. So the Valley is clearly filming right now, and we've had a few people who have been seen, like Lala Kent, who is dropping the Give Them Lala brand because she is untraditionally Lala podcast now, and she has grown past the Give Them Lala brand. Guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. Lala comes off like such an asshole on TV, but she really is like the sweetest person.
So nice in person. Yeah,
she's just like the sweetest. And what I'm surprised about was, one, Scheana did her memoir. Her memoir ended up becoming a New York Times bestseller. People, they questioned things, whether it was bought in bulk, wasn't, whatever. It doesn't matter. She's still a New York Times bestseller. She still did the damn thing. It happened. She will have that title. You can't take it away from her. But she ended up putting in there that Brock cheated on her. And I think in her mind, just because I know Scheana, I feel like she really thought that that would be a storyline for the Valley. And Alex Baskin was very clear about the fact that like, we're not interested in that because that's old news. Right. And so it makes me wonder. But now going into this season, we're seeing these events. We're seeing like the sippancies with the babies, and we're seeing like the Y2K party, and we're seeing all of the shit, but there's no Scheana.
I know. Now listen,
what's going on?
So last week on my show on Monday, I had heard from a source saying that Scheana was only guaranteed 4 episodes this season and that Lala was full time. And then as soon as I said that, the next day I had a couple of other sources reach out to me that says, no, that is not true. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means Scheana is full time. I don't necessarily know. And then I'm just, I don't want to be involved in this. Like I'll see it when it comes out. But it is interesting from all the photos that we've seen, Scheana hasn't been in there. So I wonder if that's part of a storyline. I don't know if Lala and Scheana are at odds. I mean, we see Lala in a lot of these photos, right?
Well, and no. And by the way, I feel like, let me just like preface this by saying like Scheana is the sweetest person and I love Scheana. Scheana got me my job at Sir. You guys know the history here. So like this is kind of what we do. We get to talk about what we're seeing, and that's like the whole point. There's no harm, no foul. Nothing, there's no malintent here. But like watching it and seeing what's going on and seeing Scheana speaking out about Katie clapped back, and then speaking out about Lala saying, yeah, she talked about my book a little bit, my memoir, but she didn't really post the PR box or anything. Seeing what Lala had to say on her Amazon Live when she was like, you guys, honestly, and this was her, I'm just like replaying it. She was like this, guys, honestly, Scheana is Scheana-ing, and like our daughters, our families get along great. Our daughters. Yeah,
she was like, I was just over at her Palm Springs house last weekend. I don't know what to believe anymore, but Scheana is so she's so involved in all of this, and she really does try to not manufacture storylines, but create storylines. And so I don't necessarily know who or what to believe. And I just want the show to be good. But, you were talking about Lala rebranding the podcast, and I find that so interesting that she's rebranding as The Valley's filming. So I get scared that we're going to get a rebranding a podcast storyline. Like, I mean, wasn't that her storyline on one of the like last seasons of Vanderpump Rules, was a softer side of Lala rebrand?
I don't know, but if Lala's smart, which she is smart, but you guys, if Lala's smart, she's going to lean into the fact that she has an incredibly unconventional family dynamic in Pod, that she lives in a $3 million home. Think about this, you guys. She lives in a $3 million home. She has her first child with somebody who was incredibly controversial. And even there was a documentary about this person. And then she ended up bringing a second baby into the world, but on her own, right? And another unconventional way, which, my God, baby Sosa, both of her babies are so cute, but just so cute. And then she has her mother there because her dad, unfortunately, passed away. And so her mother lives with her and helps her. And then her brother Easton lives with her, helps her, and then works on the podcast. That is a built-in storyline alone. You don't need to add we're getting ready to give them Lala, whatever. With what you have at home, and then you go and you just fuck shit up and you're like, girl, you don't talk to me like that because you want to catch these hands. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
This is my official give them Lala and with Randall pickleball pad. This is a collector's item, you guys. Remember when Lala's podcast was with Randall and then they did a pickleball episode on Vanderpump Rules? They sold these things and a listener got this for me. It's one of my prized possessions.
Can you please go to one of her panels and hold that up?
Yeah, to ask a question. Me in the back. Let me ask a question. Yeah.
She's going to be like, Ryan, I know you, and F off. Yeah.
By the way, my life is so trash. I have this on my desk. I have Ramona Singer's book on my desk. It's like straight up trash over here.
It's a thing. It's a thing. But no. I feel like with the Valley and everything, we have Jesse Lawley's girlfriend who's now filming with Michelle when she was threatening apparently to sue Michelle.
Did you see Ariana's brother at the housewarming party? I saw Jeremy in the background there.
Do you know Jeremy or no?
I don't know. I met him once or twice, but not to anything where I think he would remember me. I mean, I've been around him a couple times, but not really.
He gives me the ick a little bit. And
yeah, I don't know him personally in that way, but I mean, it is interesting because I know he did that interview recently, and it always just feels like when people start doing those things, they're auditioning to get on reality television. And I always like, you know, to my point earlier, I'm like, oh man, like, are you needing money? Are you needing the attention? Like, why would you want to be on one of the most toxic shows? And I'm not saying I don't enjoy the show, but like, you're just setting yourself up for like heavy drama and heavy hatred from the audience.
You're talking about somebody who was literally trying to smuggle 70 pounds of marijuana from Orlando to Germany. So like, do we need the money? Probably. Yeah. Like, and the fact that you're a free man, by the way, Jeremy Maddox, I don't know what you did. And I don't know how you got away with that, because there are so many people. There are people who are like in jail for like 20 years for like less than an ounce of weed, let alone like 70 pounds. So I have no clue how you pulled that off. But no, I see. And I've met Jeremy multiple times, always in passing. We've never really had a conversation, but he always, you know, like at first he was always a champion of Ariana. I don't know what happened with them, but then, you know, him and Ariana stopped talking. Then he was a champion of Scheana. Then he came out and did another podcast saying that he felt like Scheana really used him and capitalized off of.
Oh, he said that?
Yeah, he said that Scheana used him after Ariana kind of like pushed Scheana away. And he now realizes that Scheana used him at the detriment of his relationship with Ariana. And I'm like, okay, so now you're pinballing, you're trying to smuggle, things are happening. Jeremy Maddox, I'm going to need you to sit down.
So it's just messy. It's a mess. He's a hot, messy topic.
He is literally a hot, messy topic is what that is. But guys, I think honestly, at the end of the day, I feel like we covered the most of it. I told Ryan, I said, don't worry, it's only going to be an hour. But
no, I said I would go on for, I mean, I do 3-hour shows. So like, I have
no idea how you do that.
It is a joy to be back. And I know it's a Monday morning, so we have to slog through a week. So anybody that's here, thank you so much for being here, you know, and just make sure you smash that like button. I'll just keep saying it.
And
I like saying it.
Guys, we also have Gelsey coming on this week on Up and Adam Channel 2. You guys know Gelsey from Anchor Watch, and her and Jason did Cirque du Soleil, not together, but, you know, like parallel, I guess. And she's going to be covering 6-7 days a week on Up and Adam Channel 2, the Love Island games, and then getting ready for the summer to cover Love Island. I don't know how anybody can cover that show just because it is nonstop, and there's no way that I could do a recap after every episode 6 days a week. But listen, I told Gelsey, I said, if you feel like you can do it and you're interested, you like it, then go on, do it. And I can't wait to see. So definitely, guys, tomorrow or Wednesday when it comes out, I'll post it on the community tab. Go support her. And yeah. And as far as Ryan, if you guys are new here and you don't know, he's about to let you know starting right here.
Oh, yeah. So my Instagram, So Bad It's Good with Ryan Bailey, silly memes, all that kind of stuff. But then the podcast is also So Bad It's Good with Ryan Bailey, Apple Pod, Spotify. But we also have a YouTube channel. We don't post the full show on YouTube, but we post so much of the full show. So go subscribe. Maritza Lopez, who I work with, she handles all of the YouTube and is great. But we'll put up recaps, interviews, all of that stuff on there. But the audio podcast is the full show. And just like with any creator, if you like it, leave it a 5-star rating. And if YouTube, if you could subscribe, that would be really helpful. But no pressure, whatever you guys like. And thank you for letting me be here.
I feel like he's saying no pressure, but at the end of the day, let me just say really quick, guys, it's free. It is free.
It is free.
It's free to give a compliment. It's free to be kind, and it's free to press a like button.
Oh, and also subscribe. If you don't like something, it's also free just to move on. You don't have to tell somebody that you dislike somebody or hate somebody. Just try to be as positive as possible.
Yeah, guys, we have enough hate in this world. I don't know.
Yeah, we have our housewives.
You'll see. Yeah. Turn on the news or Bravo, and you'll see.
Oh, yeah. Somebody Below Deck finale is tonight. Somebody just said in the chat. That is true.
Oh, that is tonight.
Yeah.
No, well, hopefully we'll see Jason and Gelsey tomorrow for Anchor Watch. But Ryan, I appreciate the hell out of you guys. Thank you so much. We have Salt Lake City also tomorrow, you guys, just so you remember that. And Wednesday, depending on what the premiere looks like, and I'll keep you guys posted. But if it's enough to talk about, then I'll cover it. And if not, then I'll tie it into a Hot Messy Topics. But then, of course, we'll have Friday Hot Messy Topics. And we have a members only this week. We're revamping that totally. So lots coming out.
Oh, Well, can I say one last thing? If you don't just know on the podcast, we will be covering. I do the entire episode line by line. So if you are looking for something long form in terms of Salt Lake City and the premiere, that'll be over on the podcast.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
And because I'm did the Whitney voice. Adam, how dare you? I'm on my healing journey with Alibaba.
Did I ever send you that video?
No.
I'm going to send it to you after this.
Okay, great. Good.
All right, guys. We love you. Smash the like button. Show some love. Get subscribed. Go follow So Bad It's Good with Ryan Bailey on all platforms, Instagram, YouTube, podcast. You know what to do. Happy Monday. And let's go make this week our okay? Bye, guys. Love you.